camera's not quite set right here. I knocked it off just a minute ago and don't act right. Anyway, welcome everybody here on YouTube and on Rumble. Thanks to all you guys for being here. And I got three great guys with me tonight that I want to thank them even before I bring them up for coming on with me. It really means a lot to me. And I got them. I mean, I just got to say a special thank you to Hawk, because I did not have either one of these gentlemen's contact information, and Hawk jumped right in and helped me do it. So thank you, Hawk. And with that, I'm going to bring these three gentlemen up. Howdy, guys.
Hey, Ronnie. Hey, Hawk.
Hey.
Flo.
Hey,
Okay.
how's it going?
Let's start this off right. Why don't you move me and SlowCountry switch us, Ronnie?
If I can do that, man. I
Looks
don't
like
know.
I'm looking at you guys when I'm talking to you.
I don't know how you switch these around. Somebody going to tell me about this.
Just drag my picture, grab my picture up there on the big screen, move
Drag
that
it
down.
up.
There you go.
Yep.
Simple enough, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Now, Ronnie, hold on. You're not done. Hawk and SlowCountry are still on the screen.
Oh.
You're not.
Fine, I'll go get my pizza in there.
You don't just take a plum off, Dave?
You can shortly. Ronnie, I don't know if the links that I put into the private chat are there for you, or if I have to redo them.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to find. Here we go. I found you on Rumble.
Yeah, and Dave, I turned on your X.
I need to check them.
Oh, okay. It's on X,
Yeah.
buddy.
Yep, I didn't turn on my X. I turned on your X.
Okay.
And we're also on Mustard Seeds number 24. However, if I can get everybody to come over to Ronnie's channel, then I will turn off 24, and then we'll add some more X people from from mine. So,
Okay.
but we got to get them to shift over to here. Yeah, Ronnie, we've been promoting this since you asked for us to come on. We've been telling everybody, we were coming on with you tonight. Happy birthday! Let's start off with that.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you guys, man. I tell you what, it really does mean a lot to me, for you guys coming on. I almost didn't ask because I knew you're all busy, and I have your own lives to live, and so I thought about it for 2 or 3 days before I could work up the nerve to ask, and then I didn't know how to get a hold of you, so I didn't want to ask Hawk because it's not the right thing to do, but I didn't know how else to get a hold of you.
Yeah. No, believe me, Dave and SlowCountry have absolutely no problem with you having their phone numbers. No. They both like you very much. And it's we're all in this for the same reason. We're all fighting for the same thing. The freedom of our lives, the freedom of our children, our grandchildren, the freedom of our country, the takedown of the of this establishment that is destroying, the fabric of America. And, as you say, yourself there, Ronnie, the best is always yet to come, and as things get better, this is, but standing by each other, celebrating times like this is important. These are important days for all of us.
And it is me, and I don't mean just my birthday. I mean, the whole works. I'm talking about the whole world as far as I'm concerned. If this thing works out like I'm hoping it does, then the whole world is going to be in way more fantastic shape than it's been in any of our lifetimes.
Yep.
I'd love to hear your guys' opinions on all this tonight. As much as you want to share anyway. And y'all did it. I can tell y'all been hyping it today because, there is oodles and gobs of people that I've never met before in the chat. Thank you guys.
Yeah.
Well, I put some stuff into private chat. I don't think it came up on your screen, so I'm re-putting them in. Okay.
I can see it when I click on it, but go ahead.
one of them is this girl Shipwreck, who she does a podcast on YouTube, but she also does one on X where she gets to talk a little bit more freely, talking about Biden's debacle tonight at the press conference. There's also one from Donald Trump.
Hold on. Let me stop you there. Listen, show me one world leader that wouldn't change places right now with the U.S. economy. Can I see one? Wouldn't everybody put their hands up and say
you're right.
If Putin would change places, or well, maybe the president of China might, but Putin, I don't think he'd trade places right
now. No, hell no.
No, he's watching. He's watching with spy glasses. He's watching Joe Biden.
He's watching from his perch off the coast of Cuba right now.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah. So one of them is Shipwreck. Another one is Donald Trump's talking on in regards to Agenda 47 today. There's one about the Senate blocking the SAVE Act. All very short clips. And then one that I found extremely interesting in regards to Jerome Powell's basically stating under oath something in regards to the Fed and it going away. And then the last one is actually on abortion. And this guy breaks it down in a way that I think everybody would appreciate. So those clips are in the private chat for you to bring up when you're ready to do so. Because I know you probably have, I believe you probably have some things already planned. But if we can, I would like to start off with Dave singing "Happy Birthday" to you.
Oh, it sounds like a wonderful idea.
Look at Dave. Look at that. On the count of three, Dave. 1, 2, 3.
Wow.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, dear
Ronnie.
Happy birthday to you. Now blow out the candle.
I tried. I ain't got much wind left anymore, Hawk.
Dave's like looking around like, oh God, what did I get into?
He's going to take his hat off, turn around backwards.
Yeah, right. I haven't done that in a minute, but
it's been a few weeks yet.
My daughter got behind in her music lessons because of the traveling, and so I'm gonna take one of her music lessons. I think next week, singing lessons.
I got you.
So I think one ought to do it. 1.5 hour session. I should be good.
Well, of course. Well, hey, we can have a karaoke show one of these nights and let you take the whole thing, Dave, if you want to.
Hawk and I are going to do Islands in the Stream together. That's that would be wonderful, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Which one's going to be Dolly and which one's going to be Kenny, though?
Just because I got the hair doesn't mean anything.
We're gonna measure the chest and go from there.
There you go. That works. That'll work. Works for me anyway.
Oh, thank God, he's so much bigger than I am.
I somehow can't imagine either one of y'all is Dolly, though. I mean, of course.
In a couple of minutes, I've got to run it out for a minute. I have food being delivered. I thought I had a little bit more time than I did, so I have grocery delivery coming in. So when you see me disappear, it's hi, little pup. Say hi to everybody. Say hi.
So Ronnie, why don't you tell us about what you would like to do tonight and how you would like this to roll and how your day's going and Well,
my day's going pretty darn good, to be honest with you, Dave. I've been going over to my little brother's house. He lives about 10 miles from me. And so I just got to thinking, here a week or two ago that instead of sitting here all the time, it'd be better to go where, and just visit with them, son, get out of the house, and what have you. So that's basically what I do, kill time, hang out. But my days went pretty good. And I meant to get back today in time because I wanted to watch, you and Hawk. And was you on with Hawk today, Dave?
I wasn't. No, I've had a busy day.
Okay. I didn't know.
He did one last night.
I did one last night, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I wanted to get back because I was going to, hopefully drop some links in there too for tonight. But we got busy, as we always seem to do, talking and eating hamburgers and what have you, and didn't get around to it. So, what I'd like to start off with tonight, and this is where everything begins and really ends with me, is with, to me, I truly believe we're in a spiritual war. And so I would just like to hear, I tell my opinion on here all the time. I would love to hear what you guys, and I know Hawk is a preacher, or pastor, however you want to put that. So I'd love to hear all three of you guys' opinions on where you think it's going. And, is it going to come down to a war of some kind, but in America, or what? Just wherever y'all want to go with it.
Why don't you start us off, Hawk, since you might have to jump away?
Yeah. Well, I don't think there's going to be an election. And I believe that, Dave, you and I talked about this earlier, is I believe that the military has to come in first. In order for Trump to be able to do what he needs to do, military's got to come in and do a clean sweep. And those are my two most profound things. With that, I'm going to turn you on my phone, and I've got to head up to the gate, and I'll be back with you guys in just a few minutes.
Okay, well then, Dave, what do you think is going to be the catalyst that causes the military to step in?
Well, see, I'm not sure how they're going to do it. So I don't know how they plan on, rolling out the very things that we expect and are, here's the thing about this whole, situation is, we're not just expecting things. Humanity is now demanding things. We're not like making just suggestions to politicians anymore. That's not the way forward. The way forward is that these politicians are going to do what's best for the people of this country, of their state, of their town, of their county, their community. And they're going to do right by the people that they have been chosen to serve. And so this whole shift is, there's, with everything happening the way that it is, it's very obvious to me that what's going on is a show to awaken the population, and people might, push back on that and say, well, wait a minute. I had a person that died. I had, I lost somebody and the white hats are in control and they're allowing these things to happen and so forth. And I know that's a tough one because I've lost, two of the closest people in my life because of what happened, and my rocks. And
so have I, Dave. I have too.
Okay, yeah. It's not okay. It's just tragic. I'm sorry to hear that.
It definitely is. But I guess it come with the territory. I don't know. It could have been me as easy. It could have been one of them. So.
Well, yeah, but for the grace of God, go I.
Exactly.
And so it could have been us. We just happened to be in the right place at the right time. But as we're watching this unfold, we already know that there are casualties in false flags. And I said this last night on my show, that there are casualties in false flags.
Absolutely.
And so this is what you might call the greatest false flag of all time. Because they have to move public perception so far. They have to awaken and then let them see exactly what's happening so that they awaken. They have to not just see it, they have to experience it. And this is why Q said, you can't tell people the truth, you must show them. And so as this whole show unravels, and people say, well, why are we waiting on these people that are still asleep? Why doesn't Q just do it and get it over with? Because people are suffering badly. People are dying. People, bad things are happening. Well,
you muted yourself, I guess. I didn't mute you. I know that.
Okay, sorry.
There we go.
What happened was I bumped my connection, and so it automatically shut off this mic until it reconnected, and I stopped the mute.
So let me ask you a question right quick, Ben, as you touched on the Q thing.
But before we go off on the Q, just if I could bring this one home.
Yes, sir.
Is that as we're all experiencing this great awakening and having these things thrown in our lap that finally awaken us, only at the precipice will people find the will to change. That's Q. We must be pushed individually to our precipice. So I think a large part of this, it has to be that the awakening of us, Q said transparency, accountability, and justice is the only way forward 20 times. Military is the only way just once. And I repeat that many times on many shows that I do because it is absolutely imperative to understand how important that is. And that what we're doing, the conversations that we're having, the communication we're having is a part of that transparency and accountability. And so as humanity begins to manifest this new earth that we're entering into with done with the bullshit. We're done with the pedophiles. We're done with the people that are doing really bad things, that don't have us in our best interest. And so we're done with all that. And so as we shift, I think that sometimes it's going to happen like that once it finally clicks. And the other thing is that, and we're going to be a part of that shift, but I do believe that military is going to bring in the next level because they're the ones actually in control.
Yeah, absolutely. What I was going to ask you is, what I mean, I know how I feel about Q, and I totally believe Q, and I know there was a time in there, a short space of time where it might have got hacked, and they switched from 4chan to 8chan, I believe it was.
The main concern is from 8chan to 8kun.
Okay. What do you say to those people that just do not believe it, any of it? Mr. Craig the Hunter, welcome, Craig. Good to see you, brother. And I love Craig.
Hey, Craig. Great guy. Here's what I would say to those people that don't believe Q. What's your solution? What are you going to do? What's the end game? How do you think this is going to go down? And they really don't have an answer. Most people, they'll say, oh, we've got to let this person out and get Trump back in. And I'm sorry, this is This is bigger than just another 4-year election. Q told us that as well. If you don't believe in Q, it's not really about believing in Q. Q is real. The question is, and it's a psychological operation, because it has affected people psychologically a great deal. It has started a revolution. But if you look at the fact that it's a psychological operation, the only question is it a psychological operation in benefit to all of humanity, which I am under the belief that it is, or is it a psychological operation set up to make us complacent because Jesus will return, or the prophet will return, or the Q will return, and they'll save us. We don't have to do anything. We can just hang out on the couch. We don't have to do anything. They're going to come back and save us.
Mm-hmm.
Well, personally, I have never been of that belief with Q, with Jesus, with any, thing where whenever I step into a place where I'm expecting somebody else to do something, I have just made myself a victim. And that is one of the weakest, lowest frequency vibrations that you can have as a human being. And so with Q, what do I say to people that don't believe? One is, what is your solution? And do you understand that Q started this revolution? Because there were people like me that were awake and knew about Bill and Hillary Clinton and Mena, Arkansas, and the Clinton Chronicles, and the Dead Boys on the Tracks. And we knew about this. We knew about the Clinton body count before Bill Clinton ever entered office. And so we had to go through that period. We had to go through another Bush presidency. We had to go through an Obama presidency. And we were like, when Obama came around, we were all like, we're done. We're done as a country. We're letting a guy born in Africa become president without holding him accountable to a birth certificate, to any evidence, all this. And we let this Manchurian candidate get in, and we allowed our media to prop this guy up and to not challenge him in any way, and to be complete propaganda. And look what happened. And we started to lose our country little by little by little, because we did the exact thing that the framers of the Constitution warned us about. And that is, we let a foreigner into a position of control. But that was on the surface. Mm-hmm. That was the first time we saw it on the surface. But what we realized is that these presidents have been under the control of foreigners all along, whether it be the World Economic Forum, or whether it be China, or whether it be Saudi Arabia. Okay.
Brother Steve, hello. Thank you, Steve. Good to see you, brother.
Nice.
Well, welcome, Steve.
And so that's my question. That's my answer in terms of Q, is that it's like the Bible. Like, you don't have to believe in Jesus Christ. You don't have to believe even in God to derive wisdom from the Bible.
Absolutely. That's a good way to put it.
Thank you. You don't have to believe in Q. There's wisdom there.
Well, to me, here's the thing. Let me see what you think about this, or all you guys. Q, as I understand it, began with Abraham Lincoln, and he was supposedly done, more or less the same way that Trump was, and kind of inducted by the military to come in and get rid of these same people during the Civil War, because they were the same ones that started the Civil War that are doing all this crap now. And so that's to me, that's where Q got it started. That's what I've read anyway. Now, whether it's absolutely true or not, I can't say, but that's what I've found in research. So, it's the whole thing has kind of come, in a big circle, and now we're more or less back where we were right before the start of the Civil War. But this one's been done a lot differently.
I have not heard that theory. My belief is, Hawk, I think you are the same, and that is that after, I don't know about Slow, but after Kennedy was assassinated, the military knew what happened, and they got together and they said, we're losing our country here, and the
real military, not the TV generals.
Exactly, and so that was, I believe, the beginning of. And we've heard the Northern Army of Virginia by General, I'm forgetting his name right now, in an interview long ago. But at any rate, that's the really, Ronnie, for me is like, if the problem with that most people have with Q is due to the fake anons that have told you that Trump's coming back this month. Trump's coming back next month. And the SARA is right around the corner. It's right here next week. The med beds are going to be here next month. We're going to do, and all these people that have aligned with Q, they have given Q a bad name. And the only date Q ever gave us was October 31st with Hillary Clinton indictment in post 0 and 1.
Yeah, and that's what I said. I don't know that it's true. It's just what I've read doing research. I don't know that it's not true about Q either. Hey, where he come in, I've heard it two different ways. It come in under Kennedy and it come in under Lincoln. Different people have different opinions on it. So I don't know which one is correct. Probably the Kennedy one, but I'm just saying, that's what I've seen.
Well, I think the most important thing about the whole thing is, does it inspire you? And if it doesn't inspire you, I would ask you, why doesn't Q inspire you? And I would also say, if you look at the most persecuted person in the United States, then you would have to look at Donald John Trump in the press.
Damn sure would.
And if you were to look at number 2, I think you would find, certainly from that direction towards our direction, you would find Q. You would find that it was the attempted discrediting of Q. Because, so if you're for Trump and not for Q, you're missing a big part of the equation. Why would they try to take Q out like they did Trump? Why would they try to discredit Q in the way that they did? Ahab, he's awesome.
Pretty much like, what Dave is saying is 100% accurate. You think about them introducing QAnon. Originally, when we saw the signs that people were holding up at the Trump rallies, it was a Q.
Yep.
And then underneath would be an hashtag Anon. So it was never all one word. The media is what created QAnon. And the difference is, we know that there is Q and we know that there are Anons. There is no QAnon other than what the media has perpetrated upon the people, and then operatives that control the media are the ones who are going out there making the statements that they're making the statements in regards to, like, Agenda 2025. That's an entire push by that end of it. And the thing is it absolutely has nothing to do with Q. It has nothing to do with us Anons. It has to do with the perpetuation of the message and the narrative in which the media is trying to put out there. And it's a real shame because even more people would be awake today if people said, you know, instead, you know, have you guys checked out this Q thing? You know, and I tell people, you know, you should go and look, start reading the questions, and then do the research and see if you come up with the same answer as what other Anons have. And
could not agree more.
And the thing is Q didn't just drop a whole bunch of information on us. He dropped a whole bunch of pertinent questions, and I shouldn't call him he because we don't know who the Q is. Okay, we don't know what the establishment of the team is, other than that that DJT is Q plus.
We don't. Okay. We don't know what Q's pronouns are.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Well, here's what gets me is it just seems to me that, you know, if you read it, you can still believe it or disbelieve it, you know, but why not go ahead and read it and study it up a little bit and, you know, just see if you truly do believe it or truly do disbelieve it, then you can make an informed opinion. But until you do, I mean, I just don't see how, you know, you can make an opinion about it. But it's just, you know, it's kind of tearing our country apart in a way, because a lot of people that did believe it have now fell off the wagon. You know, they don't believe it anymore, and they've kind of turned against Trump and everything. So, why? I mean, I guess my question is if not Trump, who in the world out there is better right now to run this country than Trump, or the world as far as that's concerned? I mean, the world needs him, really.
Yeah,
not just the country.
Hawk, are you able to add Rumble if I get that up and running?
I can only do that if I drop my YouTube. I don't know how many people are over on my YouTube side.
That's okay.
Let me look and see. If I do that, then we can add your Rumble. Give me a minute to take a peek here. But it's, you know, it's like I've heard some people saying, you know, Warren Buffett would be great, you know, for the economy and all this. Okay, well, let's look at this from another point of view. When the pipeline got shut down, whose trains have been hauling all the petrol around the country?
Buffett and Gates.
There you go.
Yep, and so that kind of throws it all right back in the lap of Q, if you ask me, because every day it's not just that. I mean, there's things happening every day that are proving, you know, that what Trump has said has been right, and what Q has said was right. I'm not saying that everything Q said was right on the money, correct, and he even said himself, he, she, whoever Q is, said that there will be disinformation. You know, there will be misinformation because they're not trying to mislead us. Well, they are in a way, but they're trying to mislead the other side. You know, that's the whole, I guess that's the way I took it anyway.
Yes, absolutely. That's exactly what it is, because they knew they were reading the boards as well.
Yes.
And that is why Q has had to be so cryptic and not specific on any dates, because that's like, you know, saying, hey, I'm going to punch you in 5, 4, 3, 2. You know, anybody that waits till 1 for that is an idiot.
No shit.
You know, so you can't telegraph. Isn't it funny how when I was coaching kids, and you know, I had basketball camps in Santa Monica, California, and I was coaching the kids, and I said to one of them, I said, you don't want to telegraph your pass. And he says, what do you mean? What's a telegraph? Right. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that I'm still using this old terminology, but this is, you know, what, from World War I, or, you know, telegraph, like you don't want to telegraph ahead to your opposition what it is you're going to do. And this is also why Q said operators never divulge. That's why people that have fallen for the grifters of that have Q in their name, or they say they're all about Q, but they're throwing out dates and they're throwing out misinformation. It's misinformation isn't up to them. That's up to the board. Nobody else has that decision-making capability, with the exception of Trump and Scavino, and I believe Cohen Watnick and Barron. And so this is all, basically the only people that have to know everything is less than 10. And that's all that knows. And the rest of us, really, I think that the reason why the comms are so specific and so are sometimes difficult to unearth or connect with is that they want it to be us to show effort, but they also, the reason why there's so many confirmations of Q is that they want us to understand that they are real and that what they've said is accurate, and they need our help. They still need us to make this happen. We are the key. The keystone is basically the key is the map, is the Q map, is basically Q, and the stone is Trump and the Patriots.
I agree.
So we have to do it. We are the keystone. We're part of that.
We certainly are. And to me, and this is also what Q said. He said, protect your DNA. Your DNA is written by God. It's got God encoded in our DNA.
Yeah.
So if you don't protect it, to me, I think I know what he meant when he said protect it. But I mean, it could be 2 or 3 different meanings there.
The term after protect your DNA is ascension.
Yeah.
That's the one he ended with. That was the last thing that Q told us on the boards, is protect your DNA and ascension.
Yes, it certainly was.
And that is absolutely, listen, the DNA, I don't think it's an accident that it's in the shape of a ladder.
Yeah, that's a good point. Good point.
We need to climb the ladder. We need to ascend. We need to go to higher vibration. And that is why I have felt, Hawk, can you imagine the indoctrination shows back in the day without Q and all the negative shit that was happening and all the stuff that we were putting up with the pandemic and everything?
You were pretty boring back then. No, it's
he's like I am now, huh?
Yeah, not like now. I'm knocking your socks off, people. Yeah.
No. He had some great.
I'm showing we got 536 people watching us right now, and that is by far the most I have ever had.
Awesome.
So, thank you guys. Thank you guys personally, and thank everybody in the chat for watching. Everybody who is watching.
Thanks to everybody who came out to join us tonight, through me and through Hawk and the basically what I was getting at with the Q. Imagine the shows without Q, Hawk, was that they were full of hope. But I think Q was a big part of that hope, because for the first time, and I started talking about this, is for those of us that were awake very early, when we read the drop, about when we read the drop about Hillary Clinton being prosecuted, indicted.
Yeah.
We were like, oh my God. It was like the nectar of the gods that, and we had just crossed a barren desert and we are dying of thirst. And this